dry. I was planning on just doing an overview of the skills, but seeing how many rangers there are here who seem to know what they're doing,
I thought you were going over builds. I've been telling everybody you was going over builds.
Wonderful.
Uh-oh.
Well, give me a minute.
You just changed his whole synopsis. You screwed him up.
I'm sorry. Do whatever you want to do. I'm sorry.
Let's just go roll around in a Ranger Zerg and scare everybody with our pets.
Yeah, and I guess I can talk over that while we do that. It'd be fun.
Because we're like double the number with all our pets. So it'd be scary.
Bring it on.
Okay, well...
I'm a guardian.
Okay.
Here to learn.
Well, before we get started, there are some common misconceptions I want to clear up. Namely, Signet of Stone. I've heard a lot of people saying that's 100%. I've done a lot of reading on that. It's only 20. They increased it from 10% by increasing it 100%. That's where the confusion came from on that.
Let's see. I learned something.
Still pretty nice, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Ranger also has a lot of combo fields. Everybody loves Healing Spring. Also, your Flame and Frost traps will drop a lot of combo fields, which can be very helpful in close range. And Ranger traps will detect cloaked units. That means thieves, anybody else with a cloak, you can spot them, and it will do the conditions to them. I have no clue why all the Rangers look the same. If anybody has any specific questions on skills or pet choices, we can do that now and just go ahead and get it out of the way.
I guess just which pet do you recommend for World v World?
If you're roaming, I personally like the Fernhound, because it has it's a decent ranged regen AoE. It can help if you're out there by yourself and you get caught off guard. But honestly, especially in big Zerg fights, you really won't pay attention to your pet that much, or at least I don't. I'm not an expert by any means. Bears are very useful, especially the polar bear, because it has that AoE chill if it gets in the middle of an enemy Zerg.
The other one, the brown bear, also has a condition remover.
Yes, that is correct. Yes, Cats and Havoc groups are very nice, especially the Jaguar for its stealth. That opening strike can make a big difference. I do not believe the brown bear one is a heal. I can check that really fast for you, though.
It says, cure a condition on yourself and all nearby allies. So it helps take conditions off of other people, which isn't really a heal, but it helps.
Yes, that is correct.
It can also, well, I don't know if this is just the brown bear, but just generally your pets can heal, like when you're in a down state, which might be what she's asking about. I don't know if that's...
yes, that is also correct. Pets can heal in down state. Also, the Ranger Shout for revive, or what is it?
Search and Rescue.
Yeah, Search and Rescue no longer works on defeated players, only downed. So remember that if you're using that on a build for anything. Other than that, what I plan to do is totally out the window. So let's go EB and kill some stuff. And if anybody has any questions, I'll talk about combo fields as we roll around, and I'll be throwing them out because I am a trap spec with my Ranger.
So, do you want us to all put like a certain skills on our bar and try all the same thing or something?
No, just play around. If anybody has any specific questions about a build, whether it be signets, spirits, pet skills, I've been doing a lot of reading, and I'll try and be as helpful as I can.
So we'll all have the same pets and try and move at the same time, kind of like that other guild on the other server.
That's what somebody
and then just stand there instead of dodging.
That's me.
We'll act like bots. Everybody
like that Ranger group.
let's pass on that for this time. I'd rather like to actually have an idea of what to go over for next time, and running around with you guys will give me a better idea of that than anything that I can think of. So, before we get started, any questions? Okay then, well, let's head over to EB. Oh, just one little tidbit I'm now remembering. For anyone who is playing a human ranger, the Hounds of Balthazar, if you spec anything into Beast Mastery, they also get the bonuses off Beast Mastery. It can make very interesting moments.
Can you repeat that again?
Hounds of Balthazar as a human ranger, actually get bonuses from your Beast Mastery buffs.
Interesting.
And if you're in a down state and the Hounds are up, the Hounds will come with you. Okay. So, where do you guys want to go? I'm not a commander or anything. I'm just going to follow you guys. Oh, awesome. Wonderful. Let's go.
I could outrun a centaur.
Of course, I forget my war horn. Wonderful.
Escape from the zoo, watch out.
I love how the bears run.
Yes, Ranger Party and EB, while I try and come up with something to talk about for Ranger training, because I was just going to do general skill overview, and that's not what was going on. So let's head north, and
we threw him off because he thinks we're too experienced for that.
Yeah.
He was expecting newbies.
I have everything you need.
Yeah, sorry, my dad is talking in the background, but we'll go on. Well, if anybody has any specific questions, like weapon selections for certain situations, I personally like short bow, short sword, axe, because it gives me about 6 different dodges, which in a close fight is very useful, especially as roaming against thieves. Especially with whirling defense and your combo fields off of your healing, it can help out in a group, or it can just really mess people up who are not expecting it. Three points at Lang, why not? Also, for any rangers who are running trap builds, especially the ones where you can throw your traps, they can be thrown where the AoEs will hit the top of the walls.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it's...
See, we are all know all of the skills.
Everybody, let's join Nose's squad so we can keep from spamming Mad Chap if people have questions. And that way we won't get distracted by other pins.
How do we do squad chat or something?
I think it's just left squad.
Okay.
Well, if you pick on his, if you put on his, if you click Nose and then click join his squad from the list, then he can talk. They can talk in squad chat and instead of map chat.
Yay! Okay. Also, for anybody who likes longbow builds, Sharpening Stone will work if you cast it after Barrage, and it will make your Barrage do bleed damage as well. It is very mean. I've seen it take groups to 75% or to 25% health very easily. I'm just going to keep throwing out tidbits as they come to me. The active on Signet of the Hunt, the deals more damage is actually an attack of opportunity, which deals 150% damage on the next strike. So for anyone who's running pet spike builds, that is something to take into consideration. Let's go up, flip Pang, and see what happens from there.
We can take Ogre's Camp too.
Yeah, let's do that.
Accelerating.
See, I think Ranger's pretty bad.
Ranger, yes, they are pretty cool like that. They also have a lot of their abilities, which seem a little funky, always have a situation where they're useful. It's just setting up the situation is the real trick. Like traps, for example, most of the time you're not going to get people who just charge into your preset traps. But if you have them where you can throw them, you can drop them kind of in the middle of a fight, and the conditions normally make people back off and think about what they're getting themselves into.
We do have incoming, by the way.
Yeah. Also, for short bows, quick shot can be fired in any direction as long as you have your target selected. And I'm not sure if everybody knew that or not, but I've encountered a few people who are not, so I thought I'd throw it out. And sorry if this sounds a little unorganized to people who are used to the other trainings. I haven't had the chance to attend those, so I don't know how they go.
You're doing fine, ma'am.
Okay.
At least I think so.
No, yeah, you sound fine.
I also have this terrible tendency to charge through choke points by myself just to see what happens.
It's called cream. Oh, holy cow, there's a lot here.
Yeah. Thank you guys for the res.
Heal my pet!
So yeah, let's go ahead and pull back from here. May as well not get caught up by those arrow cards. I mean, I'm trying to think of things that haven't been covered by other people, whether it's just general world versus world training, but I really wasn't thinking about builds at the time, so I will come up with more to have with you guys whenever you guys want to have another session like this. I just got a little confused, sorry guys.
You're fine, man.
One thing that I like to use, if you're just a bow type ranger, personally I use QZ. Because it works so well, especially using barrage or longbow and rapid fire. You can put those two down so fast and do a lot of AoE damage really quick.
Alright, what's QZ?
Quickening Zephyr. It's one of the skills.
Okay.
It's very nice. I don't like the 50% health, or 50% off of your healing. It kind of turns me off, especially for roaming builds. However, in big Zerg fights, it's very useful. I kind of wish it was a spirit like it was in the original Guild Wars, where it would affect everybody like a mini time warp. But yes, that's a good point. Some of the skills like that are very useful.
Do you like the Trapper build in Multi-World? It's about the only one I haven't tried here.
I run a different kind of trap build. I find it's very useful for roaming, but in big fights, especially the longbow seems to help out a lot because you just have such greater range, and barrage is such a powerful AoE.
What about the Vec? Do you like pets?
Pet spikes, I have seen them work really well, and for roaming, I've considered it a few times. I haven't really looked them up. But especially ones that use the owls, I've noticed, for the chill, it can be absolutely brutal against someone who's not expecting it, or whether they are coming at you and they just don't notice your pet. Getting that chill and then the spike damage from it will either make them turn around and rethink what they're doing, allowing you to get some of your skills off cooldown again and go after them, or it will outright kill them. The big issue is I generally just roam around with one build and end up in big fights like this where a single spike won't make too big of a difference. All in all, if that's what you like to do, then do it. It's very powerful. Personally, my favorite lead that I've been running is Entangle, simply because of the 20 stack of bleed, regardless of whether they knock off the Immobilize or not. I know it's got a long cooldown. Oh, we have friends, but...
Not really, if you get the trait line that makes the elite skill shorter cooldown. It's really nice.
Well, yeah. Which
I just like running into Zergs and doing it.
Oh yes, running into Zergs and smacking a whole bunch of them with Entangle is nice until you suicide off of Retail, and then you just feel a little silly. I've done that far more times than I have any right to say.
So do we have another stability besides Rampage as one?
Not directly. There are off of, I believe it's Fire Combo Field, but I'm not 100% positive on it. I didn't really study my combo fields too hard. once again, sorry about that. There can be area stability, which I think I'll get back to you guys on that here in a minute. I'll look it up.
Well, because I was wondering, because you're talking about Entangled, and I know a lot of people use that. I use, most of the time I have equipped Rampages 1 because it helps me get into doors. You know, when they're killing the door, and I you know how they try to get you beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
If I hit that, then it stabilizes me so I can get into the door, into like a keep or a tower or something.
Yeah, Rampages 1 does make a big difference there because of the stability and the speed buff it gives. As for other stability that we have, there's really not so much of one. Some of their pet skills where they pull off, like Protect Me or Guard. Guard's actually pretty useful for the stealth, especially with a cat, where you get the double stealths. I'm trying to find the other skill right now. But there's a few of them that rip conditions off of you, but my biggest issue with them is they have such long cooldowns that together it just doesn't seem to be viable to run them all together. You lose out on so much more, whether it be signets or area control with traps or pet spike. It's kind of frustrating at some points.
Don't risk it on me.
My pet is down.
But one thing, as I've been messing around part of the Mists the past couple days, learning more about the class than I previously did, Rangers do have a lot of passive toughness, as long as you're not going pure Berserker build, so you have none. To the point where if you stack, say, Knight's Armor, which still gives power and precision, you are pretty tough and hard to beat in single combat. Let's back up a little here.
Where are you guys located right now?
Currently we are on Nose's Pin and Eternal Battleground. Looks like SOS is hitting Furios behind us. So just be on the watch for that.
I have kind of a general question.
Go for it.
Which kind of like melee weapons do you prefer for like roaming build?
Roaming, I like short sword with anything really. Dagger is because the short sword by itself has 3 evades built into it. It has the lunge out and then the lunge in and the serpent strike, which causes poison. All of them are very nice, and if they're not watching for it, it gives you a big edge because they will blow a cooldown to try and get close to you, and then you'll leap again and it will get them away, or you'll get a flank attack and poison them for a nice amount and cut their healing.
Yeah, I had been using, or I just started using sword and I think dagger in PvP, and I like it, but I haven't tried it in like PvE or World of Warcraft.
Dagger is nice, especially for that 4th evade. Personally, I'd like to do offhand axe for whirling defense, especially running in the middle of Zergs and then just dropping everything and hoping for the best, because it does a sizable amount of AoE damage, and if you've dropped your healing spring on top of yourself, it will heal anyone who comes in with you to a certain extent, and it reflects projectiles. And I'm not sure, I don't think it works on ballistas, but I've never really taken the time to check that. I'd be surprised if it did, though.
My only issue with that is you can't move while you cast it.
Yeah. But generally, if you're running into the center of a Zerg, you're not expecting to survive anyway. once again, I am a little suicidal with my ranger.
Yeah, I just went in that corner and then entangled a whole crapload of people at the enemy siege.
What pin are we looking for?
Nose. We're at ogres at the moment.
If you guys want to head over here, we can kill all the people that are on the EC.
Where are you? Dorios?
At an ogre camp. They're on the other side of the wall, and then the entangle goes through the wall.
One thing I have noticed is Great Sword for Ranger allows you to move really well to get away from things. Especially as long as it's not a thief, because I've never seen a Ranger get away from a thief. It's just bad but true. Traps will sometimes scare them off. Sometimes they just laugh at you and you fall over dead. Sometimes you kill them. It's really kind of a crapshoot. One of the things I used to do to help even that out a little is rapid fire shot on the longbow. I'm sure some of you have noticed it with silks and such in PvE. It will track a target that goes invisible for a little while. After they go invisible, it can give you a little edge if you're running with that out. For once again, there's a whole...
Sorry. Speaking of the thieves and their invisibility, what about the torch offhand skill bonfire?
Yeah, burning will hit them, and if they run through the circle, it will tick on them, just like the conditions from traps will tick on them. It does not necessarily pull them out of stealth, though. As far as I know, it also will not give numbers until they de-stealth, which is one of the reasons I do like the traps, because it's a very large animation that you can see when the trap goes off. Well, this is going nowhere fast. You guys want to stay here, or would you like to move somewhere else?
No says move.
Let's go swing down to Durios and hit those swords, and let's go check on SBI. Or not SBI, SOS.
The SOS at Durs are just baiting us into the SMC.
Okay. I guess I can talk traits some while we run. I like to run a heavy skirmishing build for the precision, and also the switch weapons in combat. The Fury and the Swiftness has saved my life more times than I care to admit. I do like the marksman traits, but if you're running something that involves a lot of close combat, or you're just going to be in a big Zerg, having them bonuses from them unless your specs have opening strike.
SBI is following us, just so you guys know.
Okay, thank you. Then...
Hey, Nose, let's turn around.
Yeah, Also, just another little tidbit about the short sword. The chain attack on it will chase down foes pretty efficiently. It is one of my favorites for doing that because it does 2 lunges in that take you close to your target, and it also does a cripple. And it gives you a 6 seconds 1 stack of might. So if somebody's trying to get away from you, that can make a difference whether they get there or not.
Ma'am?
Yes?
I'm getting lots of baggies, so
Okay.
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Refreshing.
Welcome.
Ooh, this is a training.
Yeah, trying to do ranger training and...
Training by force.
Yes, training by force and EV. Because everything I had planned went out the window. I didn't communicate what I wanted to do properly.
You were doing exactly what you said. Going over skills.
Yes, going over skills, just not in a dull and boring manner in Heart of the Mist.
Daron's still want to be here because this is ranger training.
Oh yeah, I hate you guys.
Yes, he does. He does not like rangers.
You guys ready for the...
Where are we going again?
We were just pulling back to get SBI off of us a little bit. Let's... Oh, nose is still up there.
Heal my pet.
I summon the power of Melandra.
Yeah, sorry to pull us out of ogres. One thing I don't like is just fights where nobody's dying. We're just all hiding behind walls and getting stuff back up. If you guys want, we can push up there and get your baggies back, though. I like bags, I'm sorry.
I'm getting close to my gift of battle, so... You should be able to get it tonight.
Well, yeah, you should be able to. So what are we hitting tonight?
SBI Portland.
Okay.
Sorry.
There's a big group there.
Holy cow.
Yeah, here they come down the hill.
Daron, have you been to CDBL today?
A couple times.
Did you see where all our stuff is upgraded at?
Yep.
As I pull back a little bit.
Did you see I claimed something for EOS?
No. Why would you claim something for EOS when we have no guild buff?
Don't need a bus today. We don't need a bus today, but I did queue some up for next weekend.
Amber, you're about to get steamrolled.
I know, right?
Here we go. Coming down. Get in a tower or get somewhere.
For survivability on Rangers, you have several traits that actually do grant protection on a pretty regular basis, especially under wilderness survival. Hide in Plain Sight is the number 9 major trait. It gives you a few seconds of camouflage whenever you get essentially stunned of any kind. It has saved my life a few times, and then the 2 seconds of protection when you dodge and roll off the 15 trait. A lot of people don't know that's there, but with the 200 toughness it comes with, and the condition damage never hurts, it makes a big difference, at least in my opinion. As far as ranger training goes, that's all that I've got for right now. If anybody has any questions about specific things, just feel free to ask.
Did anybody record it? Because I came in here at the tail end.
Let's go get him, Nose.
Me too.
I believe Nose said he would record it.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And where will he post it? That's the other question.
It should be posted to the forums. He says he missed about 2 minutes. However, if there are any questions that the video doesn't cover or that you guys just come up with, feel free to PM me and ask. I'll put my name out in map chat.
Frankly, I've been listening to Sitting on a Couch podcast. They have a new Ranger podcast.
They do?
Yes. Just to try to get a little better.
Okay.
I posted a link on the forum.
It's called Arrow to the Knee.
Wonderful.
They have a Guardian podcast as well, but unless you do PvP, it's not that great. I mean, it's okay, but...
Well, that actually brings up a good point about Rangers. No matter what build they run, unless it's very specialized, a lot of them have use in PvE, PvP, and World vs. World.
Right. Like, just from listening to that, I'm using my Guardian to run Staff and Hammer in World v. World.
Don't run with Rangers. Give me that Guardian.
Oh my god.
I very much enjoy both classes. I've also been called deranged.
It's an RIR number. Yeah, there is. Let's stay clear of that for 3 minutes. Looks like SOS is hitting Durios, maybe?
Alright, so, the raid is gonna start in 10 minutes. If you guys want to join the other channel.
Storm channel, sir.
Storm General channel.
Okay, sir.
Well, thank you all for coming
But I'm
out
bringing
to
my
this.
ranger.
You can bring your Rangers, jeez.
Can I bring my level 5 Necro?
Sure.
But thank you all for coming out to this. I guess it went well.
No, you did fine. You did great.
Thank you
No,
for doing it.
Sorry. I only wish he would have waited for me, but okay.
He knew what time it started. He was just busy cleaning his desk off.
I'll be back.
Yes. Well, I'm going to go hop down channels.
To which channel?
SBI to go ahead and join up with the raid for that because I like baggies.
Good luck, guys.
Yes, good luck, and once again, thank you all for coming. If you have any more questions, feel free to message me.
When's the next one?
Same time next week, and I will have something more pressured.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Ma'am,
Considered saying that, but I didn't know how many people would get it.
ma'am, the other classes, just so you know, they do take us to do EB or something else as well. So it was fine.
Okay.
They sometimes do it. Sometimes they go to, like CD Borderlands, or sometimes they go to EB. So you did fine.
Okay.
Really, you did. You did fine.
Well, thank you, Amber.
It was fun.
Yeah, I would have liked if you went over the basics, because I don't play Rangers, I just came here for the info.
Oh, well, I can give you a quick rundown whenever you want one, if you want.
Heal my pet.
There you go. Just do a quick rundown then.
God.
No more playing dead for you.
So just overview of the class in general. It's a very kind of, I feel, mid-range class. It has the longbow, especially gives it a lot of long-range combat potential. But the longbow is so slow that if you don't have something fast or that gives you a lot of evasion on close range, it becomes a little cumbersome. I wouldn't say unusable, because I have done lots of things with close range longbow and it works, especially with barrage, where if you get that cast off, it lasts twice the length of the cast time. So that's a lot of cripple and bleed, especially if you use the trick with sharpening stones on that. Short sword is very much a get in, get out, and just hit them, which is not the way I play, but I'm also a little crazy. Axe is very nice. The one on that's a nice recoil, which builds with combo fields. The 2 is essentially a short bow's poison thing, minus the poison, and with a physical projectile finisher. The one thing I have noticed about Rangers is they don't have a very big variety of finishers. They have leap, physical projectile, whirl, and I think that's it. Give me a second to verify that. So they're not very much a support role in the regards to combo fields, other than they can drop a nice healing spring. But Flame Trap does add up. As far as weapons go, most of their melee weapons are extremely defensive or involve skills that allow you to get away from your targets while still dealing damage. Axe has the nice whirl finisher, of course, and here somewhere. And the torch, while it also drops the flame one and does the fire AoE, I kind of like it from time to time because it's just different and it plays a little different depending on whether you have axe main hand, which does get a lot of damage, or sword main hand, where you just dodge around your target all day and can confuse them. Other than that, there's the selection of pets for the most part are superficial. There's some like the brown bear, which will give you a condition removal, or some like the polar bear, which do chilling, or immobilizes on some of the spiders. But for the most part, your pets are cosmetic. The stats, as of the latest major patch they did, it pretty much equalized all the different types. To a certain extent, cats are good burst DPS, as are birds, bears, or anything that looks like a bear, or is a tank, and everything else is essentially damage. The Reef Drake is a very odd one, especially with the way it plays with its stats. It's got some of the highest stats. It's one of the reasons I like to run around with it, even if it gets killed really fast. And right now my brain is fried. Like I said, if you have any other questions about the class, like its heal skills or anything, just let me know, please.
How much health do your pets generally have?
Generally, Bears have somewhere in the neighborhood of 20,000, 22 I think is the exact number. I have that.
They just updated those though. Hang on one second. I got them printed out somewhere. Hang on one sec. I'll tell you.
This is, sorry, can I?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, this is kind of a basic thing, but if you swap out your pet, like if your pet has really low health or dies, you can swap out your pet and your other pet will have full health.
Yes.
And also, I think if you swap it before the pet dies, the swap will cool faster.
Yes, if your pet dies, the cooldown is significantly longer. That is just correct.
Okay, the Ursine pets, they have 29,982, and their armor is now 2,061. Dogs, they have 14,868 HP, and their armor is at 2061. Cats have 14,868, and their armor is at 1374. Devourers have 14,868 in HP, and armor is 2748. Birds have 14,868 with 1374 armor. Drakes have 22,425, so do spiders, pigs, moas, and armorfish. And their birds have 1374 in armor, drakes have 261, spiders have 1374, pigs have 2061, moas have 1374, and armorfish has 2748. And that covers the pets.
Hey, thank you, Amber.
You're welcome. I only have that because I printed it out when they did the update.
So, if I was going up against a ranger, and this is why I'm here, by the way. How much would it cripple you? Yes, tell me all your secrets. How much would it cripple you if I killed your pet, or would it not matter to you at all?
It really depends on the build. If they're a heavy pet spike where they have the skills, where they have the skill sick 'em, and then they have the Signet of the Hunt, and just those two signets alone, that's 190% damage on their opener for you. If you kill their pets, it will royally ruin their day. However, if you run into a ranger who's going march nose, it might not make a big difference. Or if you go up against, say, a trap ranger like me, I'll just laugh and take the free damage that you're giving me while you're focusing on my pet.
We want you to focus on our pet for the most part. Most of us, not all of us, but most of us. I don't use a pet build at all. So I love it when you guys will focus on my pet because that's free hits for me.
Yeah, and when I fight against other rangers, I generally just ignore the pets, and I haven't ever really had a problem with that, just because, I don't know, your pet is more helpful in PvE. Your pet is really helpful in PvE, but not as much in PvP.
I would disagree.
That might not be true.
I mean, it really comes down to how the ranger is built.
Let's say that you go with two dogs, right? To do KD and knockdown. If you're fighting another say medium class or heavy class, and you have both dogs set up, you hit them with the first dog that's KD. You can do a lot of damage. You immediately hit F4 to switch, and you hit them with the other dog. It keeps them down. You can pretty much kill somebody like that if you get it off.
Exactly. I mean, with the ranger pets, there's so many different things that ranger pets could almost be considered their own micro class.
I have blood closer.
As I would encourage you to do that.
They are really good because even when, as a ranger, if another ranger's hitting me with its pet, I, for one, do ignore it for the most part. But if I notice it's taking I'm taking a lot of damage from it, I will then switch to my knockback skill, and I will knock that sucker away from me. So pets can be harmful, yes. So, I mean, there are